My name is George Nader.
George Nader, a Lebanese-American with a reputation as a man of mystery, attended secret meetings during the presidential transition with officials from the United Arab Emirates and Trump associates. Sources say Nader was stopped and questioned by the FBI at Dulles International Airport in January, returning from an overseas trip. Since then, he's been talking to Mueller's investigators and providing information to the grand jury. The special counsel's interest in the Emiratis suggests an investigation expanding beyond questions about Russian meddling in the 2016 election. It points to broader concerns about foreign influence during the presidential campaign and long after it ended. Investigators have been probing two meetings Nader attended. A December 2016 meeting in New York led by the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and attended by members of Trump's team, including Jared Kushner, soon-to-be National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and Steve Bannon, strategist to the incoming president. A meeting in the Seychelles Islands followed in January 2017 between Erik Prince, the Blackwater private security firm founder and Trump associate, and Emirati officials, say people familiar with the meeting. Nader was also present at the hotel bar when Prince met with Kirill Dmitriev, chief executive of the state-run Russian Direct Investment Fund. It's unclear whether Nader was involved in the conversation. There's no indication Nader is suspected of wrongdoing, but his insight into those key meetings with the Emiratis could help Mueller understand potential efforts to influence key figures in the administration. After the election, sources say Nader stayed in contact with some senior administration officials, including Bannon and Kushner. Nader kept a low profile, but made inroads in administrations going back to the 1980s, often by volunteering to open lines of communications with leaders in the Middle East. In the 80s and 90s, people knew him as the editor of a magazine called Middle East Insight, and his unusual Rolodex was packed with some of the most prominent and elusive figures in the region.
George could essentially reach and talk to people that we couldn't, including Hezbollah, contacts with the Assad regime and their intelligence organizations, as well as Iran.
Nader's role as a go-between called for plenty of discreet name-dropping, but his information was often credible, according to Middle East experts in administrations spanning from Ronald Reagan to Bill Clinton.
In that business, you don't survive, both physically and politically, without keeping confidences, particularly when you're working cross borders, as George seemed to do.
Nader all but disappeared over the past decade, his former colleagues say. One Middle East expert was stunned to hear the well-traveled middleman maintained an address in Washington. Another was shocked to hear Nader was still alive. He'd been under the radar for so long.